I'm Big Bob.
And I'm Ann.
What's up? What's up, Ann? What's up, Big Bob?
What's up, Ann? Now we got to flip that.
Right, okay.
What's up, Big Bob?
What's up, Ann? How
Hola.
you doing?
We got a great guest today.
Who's that?
Chuck Coffee Cup, Chuck Doyle.
Chucky. So before we start, a shout out to Brenda Ringwood, our executive producer. Thank you very much. And the founder of the BTBY, which stands for
Becoming the Better You.
Right. And how's the weather outside?
How are you becoming the better you? Are you going to ask me that for the rest of my life now? Let's get t-shirts. How's the weather out there? You are so mean.
Ann doesn't drive in bad weather, and it's 37 degrees outside and raining a little bit, and she was scared to drive.
I was not afraid to drive. Where I live, the snow was coming down heavy, and I'd read on Facebook that a lot of people said it was bad, and one person went into a ditch, and I've had 4 accidents like that, so I wasn't going to dabble in it because I have too much to do, and I wanted to make sure I got here safely.
Okay, we'll let it slide.
Let it slide.
Did the car slide getting here?
No, because
So
I
it
wasn't
didn't
driving.
slide.
I wasn't.
So it's not going to slide. So Chuck, who are you? What do you do? Let's ignore her for a while. Who are you? What do we do?
So I do a lot of things.
All right.
One of the things I do is the first thing is I own an electrical lighting company that's based in commercial. We specialize in fixing lights and stuff.
Guy who owns Mark One, family,
Mm-hmm.
good friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know him?
Nope, I don't. But I've known that we've put quotes and stuff in against them.
They're a huge company.
Yes.
I mean, the airports and right. So,
Right. Speaking of airport, that's one of those places that I actually first had an acquaintance with. Mark One is out at the airport, the Gardner. This is
Okay.
the Gardner Airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Shaw Electric?
Yeah.
Okay, they're neighbors of mine.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When you work in the electrical field,
It's a
as long
small
as I
family.
have, you know,
Everybody knows everybody.
you start learning a lot of them.
So you do commercial municipalities mostly, or big buildings?
Well, we range from anything that's commercial, from small chain restaurants to big churches like Church of Resurrection.
All right.
We work for a lot of property management companies like Block Realty, Copeg and Brooks,
Okay.
Axiom, stuff
Wait.
like that.
We had David Block on here earlier.
Really?
Yeah.
I just sent him not David himself, but he has one of his project managers. His name is David too. I just sent him over a quote 2 days ago.
David too?
No, his name, I can't remember his last name.
I mean, David too?
His name is David also.
Yeah, David also. Yes.
What kind of name? Last name is also.
I can't remember this David's last name, because when it came over, it said David highlighted. It didn't have a last name on the email.
Right.
But I figured since it was a Block Realty, a blocking company email, that it was David Block himself until I clicked open the email and it
Was
Michael
somebody
Berger
was
or
also.
something.
It's
Yeah.
David also.
Or two.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, did you grow up here in Kansas City?
No.
Where did you grow up?
I was originally born in Chicago, Illinois. I was raised to about 5
What
years.
year were you born?
73.
Whew. I didn't get there until 74.
You were born in Chicago too?
No. I just passed through Chicago in 74. So you're not.
You wasn't able to. Hey man, hold on. So you passed through in 74?
I was at Northwestern in 74.
Oh, you went to Northwestern.
I was a grad assistant Northwestern coaching football in 74.
So how long were you up there? You went the whole term up there in college?
Yeah, I was there for about 6-7 months. Then I went to the University of Pittsburgh.
I was in the airport once.
Which
That's
one?
A big airport.
O'Hare.
Oh, there's two Midway's just as big.
Okay. I just
It's
have
a
I have
mess.
not actually been in Chicago.
Well, my mom got us up out of there pretty fast, and most of my life was grown. I was raised mostly in Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
No wonder you have a chance to be successful.
Well, no, Nebraska was I mean, I took the Chicago mentality to Nebraska. Mom's wasn't she. I mean, we grew up in the poor neighborhood, so we got all that negative uh, activity going on in those neighborhoods, and so I fell victim real fast to it because that's all we knew.
How old were
Wait,
you
wait,
when you
wait,
moved
wait,
to
wait,
Nebraska?
wait. Victim.
The what?
You were a victim, or were you a participant?
Participant, a victim turned participant.
Okay.
Because I think in those environments we all start out as victims, and we either succumb or we overcome it.
Choices.
Yes.
Choices.
Yes.
You made poor choices.
Very poor. So poor.
The consequences.
By the time I turned 14 years old, I was in prison. I was on my way to prison. 15, I went to prison. Yes.
Wow.
15.
Were you a gang member?
Gang member, drug dealer, robber, burglar. I mean, yeah.
Were you a bad person?
Bad person with a good heart. You know,
Bad things. You did bad things, but were you a bad person?
bad. That's why I was a good person, but
Did you know? This is not what I thought we were going to talk about. Did you know you were making bad choices?
Yeah.
You said, "Fuck it, I don't care."
I don't think it's that. I think it's more of you are in the environment, and the environment is the influence. So if you have a deep enough influence and there's not enough of the good influence, then it's easier for you to go the easy way because it becomes the majority. It becomes the easy way.
I get it. I get it. Peer pressure.
Peer pressure.
Right. Everybody's
And
doing it.
belonging.
Yeah. My friends. I need friends. I don't want to be that weird guy who's outside the lines. You know, going to the library every day. I don't want to be that guy who's so weird he has no friends because, and what one or two friends I have aren't very cool because, right, peer pressure.
Yeah, and not just, I mean, because you do have a sense of peer pressure, but then you also have that if you don't have someone showing you a different way or a better way or the right way, then it's easier for you to succumb to what's going on in your environment.
So when you were in prison, like for how long, and was that a turning point for you? And when you got out, you decided
it made me worse criminal. Yeah.
You don't think jails rehab you, do you?
No, it's just
So you
some
have
people do.
Very interesting topic though, and I'm glad we hit it. I don't get offended of the topic because this is why I'm the word.
You can teach me something right now. You can share with these people right now things that they have not heard of or experienced, enlighten them a little bit about the dark side of society, the underbelly of our community that most of us just glaze over because we're trying to ignore it. Pretend it's not there.
You can't ignore it because this is so let me give you an example. We're in Kansas City, right? And Kansas City is considered our home. So whatever's going on in Kansas City, we're all affected by it in some sort of way.
I agree.
So if you have a bunch of people in the communities that are shoot 'em up, bang, 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 drugs, eventually, if you don't try to curb that problem, or
spreads,
it's going to get outside and it's going to start affecting everybody else. So there's got to be some way that.
Right. Okay. I mean, we're not going to be able to solve the problem. We probably can't even identify the problem, but why is our society set up? What's the cause of the underbelly of our society? Besides, I mean, I understand poverty.
Right.
I understand lack of father in the household. I understand ease of getting drugs and guns. I understand education isn't as the same. Is there more to it than just the obvious of why there is a sub-society that is less desirable?
Well, I would say it's when you think about it, I would say it's community. You know, what are you feeding inside of these community? We all have different kind of communities, right?
Coffee cup.
What
I have never met a mother or father who says, I want my kid to grow up to be a gangbanger.
Right.
Right? I'm gonna
But
teach my kid. I'm
there
gonna
are
teach you.
mothers
Yeah.
that
Or
you might not have
druggies,
met that
or
would want their kids to grow up as gang members because they are raised in the communities. Okay, let me give you an example. And this is what I'm saying. It's a way of life. Your way of life is different than the opposite side of society where it's a more negative community. You have a woman who she's dating or she's has a baby by a gang member, and the lifestyle, she loves it because this man might have money, he might have influence that gains her fame, hood fame, and she teaches her kids to take that over. I mean, it's a real
It maybe
deal.
even feels like a source of protection.
Yeah.
why not move out of the hood?
Well,
If you got the money, why stay in the hood?
because if you move out of and that's a good question. Why don't people move out of the hood when they obtain some money? Some people do, but when you move out of the hood, you lose all your validation.
Yep.
It leaves.
There
it goes
goes
out
your
of the window.
platform.
Yeah,
You're no longer special.
Right.
yeah, you're gone. So it drives you and it makes you better. Okay, so I used to rap. You came in on an interview and you heard me rapping. Totally different music, but the same mindset. I mean, the same state of mind. That's a creative state of mind. But instead of creating positive content back then, I used to create negative content because that's what I wanted to glorify at that moment. But I don't want to glorify that negative stuff anymore because the becoming a better you community and people like that, people like that come from that community that have been a part of my life throughout this course, that's that element, you know what I'm saying? That's the element that makes you want to change. But let's just say I stayed in that negative and I didn't have these bad influences or these bad incidents that took place that made me want to change my mindset. I would still be stuck in it, glorifying it, rapping about it. Because I was a great rapper and I
You
went on
probably still
tour.
are.
Yeah, I mean, but it was all negative and it fed that negative environment.
Right.
Now, totally different mindset, totally different
When did the
community.
light go on?
The light went on.
Well, when did the light go off? And when it got switched back on?
So I think the light went off before I even could. The light went off before I even knew. I couldn't even. I would never be able to realize it because I've always grown up in that disbelieving environment that's surrounded by so much negativity. So much negativity that even your family members are imposing the negative stuff on you. But the light went. The light came on. I mean, there was flickers like it took a couple of those and then boom, that light that went on was an incident that happened in prison, my last number, where a guy he didn't seem like a bad guy. He had a short amount of time. He didn't have a lot of time like a lot of other people. He was a Caucasian male. He had a family that supported him. I mean, these were super supportive people, and those people all died in an accident coming to visit him.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And this guy was these people were so supportive of him that they would send him books, educational books, and he would feed these books around the yard and let people borrow them. He let me borrow one of his books, Think and Grow Rich.
I love that book.
I had that book when they took him to protective custody because, I mean, when you find out your family died,
you got nothing.
Yeah, he was just he blamed himself, and I mean, who wouldn't? So what do you think I did? What if the shoe was reversed?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I gotta do something with my life. I mean, you don't get how involved other people are when you're making those type of mistakes.
I think your story is compelling. I think it's probably not nearly as unique as it should be. It's probably a lot more common than anybody like to think. Are you making a difference? And how do you make a difference?
I'm making a big difference.
One-on-one?
One-on-one, two-on-two, unseen, and it feels good.
I mean, can you turn somebody else's light on?
Yeah.
Can you see it happen?
I see it. I see it.
Young man, you're wasting your life. You only get one life.
You don't.
There's no mulligans. There's no do-overs. There's no repeats. You get one shot. This is your only shot at it.
Yeah.
What are you going to accomplish with your one best opportunity ever in life? What do you want to do with it? My great line to young people has always been, who do you want to be when you grow up? What does that person look like?
You
What
asking
does
me
that
that question?
You're not fully grown up yet.
No, I know.
Neither am
None
I.
of us
I've got
are.
a long ways to go.
Yeah.
What does that person look like? And then you choose the path to get there.
So that person is, I'll know exactly what that person looks like. That person is my future self.
Yeah.
That's the person who helps me get through a lot of the things that I do today. Because instead of talking to, you have parents that want the best for you and they give you information and they'd say, you should do this, you should do that. You got friends that tell, and none of them tell you anything bad. They want you to do the stuff that's best for you, but it's the stuff that's best for you that they think,
Right.
not you. But the future person, if I want to be a doctor, I need to talk to the doctor future person. That person knows exactly what he wants, how to get there, and all of that.
I've always said this. When you pick what you look like 10 years from now, find someone who's there.
Yeah.
And have them show you the path to get to where you want to be.
Think and grow rich.
Right. If you want to be a doctor, find a doctor. If you want to be a gangbanger, find the gangbanger. Find the person who's already climbed the ladder that you want to climb.
Yeah.
And he will help show you the rungs up the ladder.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky, you find more than one. You find two or three so that you can.
Yeah, I'm the same way, but I just say, get yourself around people that are smarter than you.
Oh, it's very tough. For
That's
me.
why I'm here.
I'm just saying. If you
So why am
believe,
I here?
if you believe you're smarter than the person in the room, then that means you're not moving around enough. You got to continue to move. If you get David, if you get to a point where you think that you're smarter and you're this, that means you're still. You're too still. You need to move around and learn more because you're not learning. And that's what I like to do. That's why I'm moving all around. I talk a lot, but I listen more now. And I follow more rules and directions now. And I didn't used to do that before. And since I've been doing it, I've gotten way farther. So
I've written a bunch of posters on my 150, 200 of my own little unique sayings. And one of the first of one I ever wrote was, I used to be very smart. Because young people, when I was 21, I thought I was always the smartest guy in the room. Right? I didn't realize until I got older, I'm not that smart. And the older I get, present company excluded, of course, I'm never the smartest guy in the room.
That must have been really hard to say. I'm proud of you.
It was an insult, sweetheart. So, well, at least it was meant to be. But to grow, you can learn something from children. You can learn something from animals. You can learn anywhere you're open to learning. But to surround yourself with smarter people, wow.
yeah, it's
Well,
hard.
it just accelerates the learning.
It does.
If you're open to learning, that's the whole thing. You got to be open to learning.
That's why they say, how do you change? Everybody asks me that all the time. So, because everybody know me as Nutty Boy. That was my
Nutty
street
Boy?
name, Nutty Boy, because my real name is Chester. I grew up in my family as Chestnut. Yeah.
Chestnut.
And then they shortened it to Nut because that was my dad's
Nutty,
name.
Nutty.
And that boy is nutty. God, what the heck? and it started this streak. But, they asked me, how did you go from Nutty Boy to Coffee Cup Chuck? How did you change? And the first thing you got to do is want to change. You got to want it. You can say, oh man, I want to be a millionaire. I want.
That's okay. What are you going to do?
Now you got to do it. And
It's
that's
all execution.
yeah.
100% execution. You know, I came up with the absolute stupidest idea for a business. It's on a used carpet. And what a dumb idea. But the execution was so perfect. We avoided all the mistakes we made were little mistakes. We got lucky. I worked hard. So people say, you must be very smart. I said, no, I'm not that smart. I just worked hard and got lucky.
Persistence.
Yeah.
That's it.
Will not take a step back.
Yeah.
I'm moving forward, failing forward.
Yeah.
I've heard that from other people. You have to fail forward. Right.
Look, Henry Ford. What did he ever? All the greats. And these people didn't even have college educations.
Right.
And only thing they did, the key to everyone, all of these factors that level out is no one stopped.
Right.
Everyone just kept going. And that's why I do what I do. People say, dude, you put out, how the hell do you come out with cups? All these cup messages every day. I had a guy that used to wake up just to see if I was going to ever run out of things to talk about. And it's like, dude, you run out of things to talk about when you decide to stop. When you stop, what else is after stop?
Do you put just your sayings on coffee cups or other people's sayings?
So I write every morning. I'll create the story, or
Right.
It'll be a real story that's someone in my, a friend, something that that's something that I know and someone has went through, and I use that as a topic. Like lifting. The other day I did one that's up lifting people, and I created. Dug in my mind, came up with, this is a scenario where I watched a friend of mine really, really help out this person. So I'll write that story using a name that's either their name or similar. I do that with fakes. I'll come up with a fake tale. But at the end of that, I give them the summary of what it means, what that message, why it's important, and I put it out to the world just like that. And you asked earlier, does anyone tell you, how do you know you're helping people? Do you help people? I get it. The mail that comes in, the mail that, I remember the first one I got, and that just to get, dude, you gave me a message a week ago, and this man is now inboxing me a week later, telling me that something a week ago
changed his life.
Yeah, helped him get through. And crazy thing about it, he not once liked the post. He not once shared it. I never even knew that he was watching or looking. And that's the thing.
You don't know who you're touching.
Just change and do what you do and consistently do it. And you're going to influence people without even talking to them.
So what was the genesis of Coffee Cup, Chuck? How did this evolve?
Well, God, it evolved because you were put in situations and places. And sometimes if you open your ears enough to hear, you listen, and it leads you to different places. But if your ears are closed, or you're constantly rebelling against those voices, God had me waking up at 4:30 every morning. No alarm. I ain't used an alarm clock to wake up over 7 years.
Only time I use one is if I get an airplane. Opportunities knock. Don't complain about the noise.
Mm-hmm.
You never know when it's going to come. Don't complain about it.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace and massage it and see how you can best use it. And by the way, not every great idea is worth using.
Nope.
It has to fit you. It has to fit your values. It has to fit the right time. I mean, I come up with hundreds of sayings. Some are right on.
Some belong in fortune cookies.
Some are in fortune cookies. Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some of my sayings. If you use them on your coffee cup, I just want a little BB as acknowledgement.
I like that. I might even make the story about you, because that's what I do. I like to use real scenarios.
There's too many stories going on about me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm only going to pick the bad ones.
Wait. Is that a street bad or worldly bad?
I don't know. Can you get gangster?
Oh,
Oh,
yo,
yeah.
man. No, I can't even thank gangster.
So before we get too far,
Right.
I gotta mention this during this episode because it affects you. This has to do with you.
Wait a second. I wasn't in Chicago in 73.
It was here.
I wasn't in Chicago in 73.
Yes.
That you can't be my son. Don't be calling me dad.
Pops.
Pops.
You got
Is
enough
this the
bread.
story you
Pops.
mentioned earlier?
Yes.
Oh, stay tuned. Listen to this.
Yes, it involves this location.
Right.
A couple of years ago, it had to be 8 or 9 years ago because it was before my business. I owed a friend of mine some money, and I had to drop that money off here.
Right.
And he worked here. His name was Joe Ayers.
I know Joe Ayers.
I know you know him because he
Right.
loved you. And
He's a fellow rapper.
yes, and that's basically how I got into the relationship with him and the clique that he runs with because they were all rappers. Well, I came by to drop the money off, and I remember what kind of car he had. Well, it was the same color as a car that was sitting out front, and the doors were all open.
Right.
So I pulled up beside the car, got out, went around, opened up the car because he told me, it's parked out and it's
Right.
open. And he just said, just put it in the glove box. I mean, in the center console. So I get in this car, I open the door, it's open. I get in, I'm like, man, this thing is a little nicer than what I remember. This is like leather. I don't think so. But I open up the console, and normally when your friends, they're a little messier. You look in this console, and there's nothing in this console except a pair of glasses. And I'm like, I put the money in and I shed it. And as I'm shutting the door, it's dawning on me, this can't be the car. So I go to pull out my phone, but as I'm pulling out my phone to call Joe, I'm getting back in the car to get my money out, and someone comes out and like, hey, can I help you with something? And I'm like, I
What
just
was it when you
realized
putting the money in the car? Or
I was
taking the money
taking
in
it
the
out.
Yeah, you're taking my money.
Yes.
You're taking my money.
I took your money,
That
man. I
was
took
money in my car. You broke into my car to take my money.
It's crazy, man, because the dude's like, dude, that's the owner's car.
Right.
I mean, you literally are in the owner's car. And I'm
Right.
like, dude.
Stealing my money.
I said,
Not as bad as when I parked in your spot.
What happened?
Well, I parked in your spot a couple years ago without thinking. I just didn't pay attention, but continue.
Is this crazy? Because
What does that have to do with anything?
Joe's just knowing his name saved me from probably getting the cops called on me. Because if I can't explain why I'm in this car and I got money in my
stealing
Yeah.
buying money out of my
Yeah.
car.
It's like a different story.
Yeah. So I'm like, Joe, man, my friend Joe works here. He has the same color car. And they're like, yeah, man, I know. I'm just giving you crap. But dude, you should have probably came in and,
Right.
let somebody know because it's like a window front. We can see everything. And I'm like, man, my bad. So I came in to try to get Joe, but Joe was still at lunch. So,
Okay.
but no, I just wanted to bring that up because I do have some history here. So it feels weird to be in the office right now knowing that I took money out of here.
Do you have any more money you want to give?
Yeah. Is there
But
another envelope?
after COVID-19, man, it kind of dried everything up a little bit now. But
How's business?
business actually got a little better after COVID. We're in the process of trying to scale the company right now, and it's
How many
growing
employees?
pains.
How many employees you got?
Right now, it's 5 of us.
5 people.
Yes.
That's including the mechanics,
Well, we have 2 technicians that are bucket truck technicians.
and the rest is
There's
you
field
and
techs.
salespeople, office staff.
Well, we actually have 9 people there.
Okay.
So we got a staff of 9. 3 of us are owners. So
3 owners.
yeah.
Is there enough for everybody to eat?
Well, you got 1 silent partner and 2, and it's. I mean, we're growing. We've been around for
Jeez, I
6
wish
years
I had a
now.
That's
silent
awesome.
partner.
Yeah.
Me too.
So the silent partner right now, we're in the process of redoing our operating agreement. So that partner drop off here
Buy him out.
in a couple. Yeah.
Give him back what he.
Well, he's
started.
already been paid back. We gotta solidify. Get him.
Did
get
he
him out of there.
did he do it to make money? Did he do it to help out a friend?
He did it to help us out because his dad, his son, is one of the other owners. So
Okay.
and he seen we had a dream, and he's basically we were all around trying to get this capital to get started.
Hustle.
And he didn't want us to. He was like, man, everybody turning you guys down. Well, let me help you. So he put his house up. And when I say he put his house up, when I seen a man put his house up for an idea it was my idea, that let me know that from this point on, no matter what, I'm gonna take care of this man.
Well, it's
You
paying
know,
it forward.
So
Somebody might have helped him out when his life was young. He helped somebody else out. You're helping younger people out. It's a cycle. Good things happen to good people for
Exactly.
good reasons.
So how do you balance both your coffee cup Chuck persona and what you do there with your work?
well, they say the easiest way I can say it is be authentic. Be that authentic person, and everything you do, it blends because you're used to doing my coffee cup Chuck brand is Luminous Technologies, and that's my company. And Luminous Technologies is my coffee cup brand because people look at Coffee Cup Chuck and they respect him because he's a positive person, and it helps reflect the business, which reflects.
Does Coffee Cup Chuck have a favorite coffee?
Yes. Yes, he does.
What kind of coffee does?
The cheap kind. I'm not a Starbucks. I don't like all
Good
that
job.
fruity stuff.
Well, I don't like Starbucks either. But I mean, do you like
I like
Dunkin' Donuts? Do you like
Folgers.
so?
I mean,
You don't go to stores and buy coffee.
Man, I go to the store and buy coffee and I bring it home and I
Your
make
little Folgers
it. So I'm from the old school, and the new school, they might spend like $7 for a cup. I'm gonna spend $7 for the can.
You get 3 months worth.
And that's
How many cups do you have a day?
about 2. Well, if my wife pissed me off at night, I wake up, started off with 2, and I might have like 3 or 4 throughout the course of the day, trying to calm down because I know that period is coming close to when we're about to get home back to the wife.
Sweet pea. I got news for you. Coffee doesn't calm you down.
I know
It speeds you up.
it really
Right.
does, but coffee it relaxes, and I think it's all in the mind.
You smoke?
No,
I
did. I used to smoke, and the day I asked my wife to marry me, I chucked the pack out of the window. It had 8 cigarettes left.
Okay.
And I counted them, and she was pissed off because she's still a smoker. And she was like, "Boy, I didn't quit." I said, "It's symbolic."
Do you have kids?
Yes, and thank God they're all out of the house.
How many do you have?
Crazy. Well, I have 1 of my own, and my wife has 3.
Okay.
And we have 11. We now have 11 grandkids.
11?
Yes.
Wow.
And we just took a lot of them to Branson for Christmas. So
How many you bring back?
oh man, we brought them back. We brought all of them back because we're smart enough to know when we take them with us, their parents go too.
Okay.
So we're temp parenting over here.
Really?
Temp parenting.
Temp, not tent.
Temp, like
Temporary.
we're going to temporarily watch these kids,
Right.
and we're going to fill them with sugar.
Right.
We're going to
And
get
then
them all
send 'em
riled
back.
up, and we're going to piss you off like you pissed us off growing
So
up.
I got 2 little twin grandchildren.
Really?
5 years old. About 3-4 months ago, we're over there, and they're doing this crap. And we get over there at 9:00 in the morning. We brought some fruit, right? And they're just doing, mommy, daddy, right? We're there for about 15-20 minutes. I look at Suki. She's my sweetheart, significant other. I said, I think it's time for us to go.
Yeah. See?
Get out in the driveway and go, wow. Being a grandparent's the greatest thing in the
You
world.
can leave.
Yep.
The kids were misbehaving. Boom, we're leaving.
Yeah.
Don't need to be there.
I sometimes I stay and eat carrots and celery sticks
And just watch.
and sit there and watch because and my daughter, she lives right around the corner from here, literally like less than 2 minutes away. She's high strung. She was the one that kept our minds turning, and now we get to watch her mind turn and turn, and now she just had a little daughter. It's the youngest of our grandchildren, who so precious.
Has she
That girl's gonna drive her crazy.
Has she ever come to you and said sorry
Yes,
more than once?
more than once.
So is this what I have to look forward to?
They respect me so much.
You know what? I think your boys never gave you a lot of heartache. I think you had fantastic kids because you and Ed, probably mostly Ed, were fantastic parents.
Mostly.
It depends on the daughter-in-laws, but I think you'd be a great grandmother.
I'd rather be a grandma first before I'm a great grandma.
Grandparenting's good.
I think you're going to be a great. I
I'll
think
be
you're going to be a fabulous,
There you go.
fabulous grandmother.
Oh, thank you.
And if you're any good at it, you become a great grandmother.
Okay.
And see, great grandparenting, I can't wait to get to that point, because that right there, now that's, you become the oracle in the family to them.
Right.
And every story that you tell is a gem. And it's a blessing to be around.
Oh, my
for that.
grandma lived to 108,
Yeah.
and I soaked every piece of wisdom out
So-
of her I could.
Do your kids say, Dad, I've heard that story before?
Yes.
So
Matter of fact, I don't have to tell the stories. They tell the stories for
yeah,
me.
my kids, I have an agreement with them. Anytime they've heard the story before 3 times, all they got to do is like this, right? If they go like this, that means I don't have to tell the story again. They've heard it 3 times, unless there's somebody in the room who's never heard it before.
Yeah.
And then they just have to grin and bear and listen to it one more time. But I get a lot of this.
Yeah, I bet you get a lot of
Yeah,
something else.
3
too.
times. Heard it 3 times already. Right.
That's a good one, though.
Yeah.
It's like a game symbol, right?
Yeah. Yep. Mess around, get shot, and
Well, wait a second. You're wearing blue.
and
Is this blue or is this red?
It's flat.
it's black.
Well, there's
Red
red.
and-
It's red inside.
What,
So the gang I used to involve
see,
myself
he
in
knew
was
where I was
blue.
going. He knew where I was going.
It was the Crips.
Right.
So the neighborhood that I lived in, it was predominantly Crips. But it's crazy because it didn't really make a difference if you were a Crip, a Blood, or whatever other gang, because there were still gangs with that fought within the gangs.
So, what are the differences in Crips and Bloods?
Well, it's just a association to the color.
That's it.
Well, because you got Crips that fight Crips, you got
Yeah.
Bloods that fight Bloods. It's
You got
just-
brothers who fight brothers.
right?
But I've never, I mean, it's even dumber than what happens in Ireland. In Ireland, you have Christians, Catholics, and Protestants who are fighting each other. They're neighbors, they go to the same schools, right? And they're having a bloodbath again. Never understood that.
Yeah.
But Crips and Bloods, you grew up side by side in the same neighborhood, in the same school. Why?
It's, I think the easiest way to explain it is when you don't have anything else to fight for, you fight each other.
Okay.
So you have to.
I agree with you because I believe once we get over this black-white problem,
I don't think there is.
it's going to be, we're going to be prejudiced with anybody who has purple eyes.
Yeah.
Or we're going to be prejudiced with anybody who has earlobes that are too big. We're going to be prejudiced against anybody whose pinky is real short. I mean, we're going to find something.
It's a reason to hate who you are, and that's as easy as I
Wow.
can say it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Prejudice is a way to hate who you are.
it's just a way of
It's a reflection of yourself.
yeah. You're trying to, you're not happy with who you are, so you want to reflect it out on everybody else. Then that's why when I write these cups, like I was saying earlier to Brenda, they're the things that I'm writing to myself, but it's a reflection of what I need to remember, what I've been through. I have to reflect it back out, and to a certain extent, it is like a social responsibility, and not to get deep.
Chuck, I'm going to tell you something. You have a unique opportunity of making bad choices, getting caught, fucking up, light switch goes on, changing your life, straightening out your life, and then giving back. The whole Felons to Fabulous movement is about, it's not second chances. It's about giving back because you took so much by mistake in the beginning. You
Yeah.
took more than you should have in the beginning. Now you realize it. Now you want to give back to society and help society heal not only yourself, but itself.
Yeah,
And it's a wonderful, wonderful gift.
social responsibility.
Oh, I love that.
And
I
you
love
have to
that.
have it. It's like the hero villain. I could have been mad because, oh man, they took my opportunity to have a clean record and be this man, go to the military, become a firefighter. All these dreams that a kid would want to do when he turned of age, it was all stripped away from it because of the felon. So, you think this over. And the crazy thing about it is how do you create a diamond? You know, how do you make a diamond look pretty? It has to go through all of this
Mhm.
crazy stuff before it even makes into some. But the big thing is people don't want to come back and reflect back where they came from. You got to.
How much of it do you blame the police officer who caught you, your friends that seduced you into the bad side, um, society abandoning you? How much do you blame somebody else for what happened to you versus take responsibility for your own decisions? And was that part of the aha moment that I got to take responsibility for what I
Yeah.
did?
Well, for a long time, it was the white man's fault. It was me being black. It was because I didn't have the education. Oh, I don't have these opportunities like everybody. It was every excuse in the book. And then you start thinking about it, and I started reading these books. The Think and Grow Rich book didn't stop there. It started going to a bunch of other books, and I started zoning in on all of these books. I'm gonna say this to y'all: go out and get a book called The Laws of Human Nature. That book right there, that was the book that brought that aha. This is all your freaking fault. All of your life, every decision you've made, everything that you've been through, if this is not the police, your mom, your parents for not giving you or not having enough, or no one's perfect. No one, none of us are perfect. But what helps you become close to perfect is making the right decisions that get you in a perfect, give you a better understanding of where you need to be. You're you're not going to get there if every time you have to make a decision, you make the easy one.
Yeah.
I started making the hard decisions, and I'll stop making the easy ones. It was easy for me to go back. If I started burning bridges on purpose.
Yeah.
Because
You
You didn't want to have a reason
Yeah.
or an access
Right,
to the
Yeah.
past.
right. How many people resonate with what you're saying? 10%, half, most.
I would say if I was my audience, I would say 50-50. But then again,
But you're not going after the hardcore, are you?
I go after anyone who wants to listen. I go after the person that's not looking. You know, I'm going after the person that God's aligning them to see. You know, all I got to do is be there wherever I need to be, and someone's going to come walking by that God's sending that direction. And if they hit something and it stops them and it triggers something, I mean, I might say something that might not be what saves them. That might just be the person. I might just be that person that made them going to want to go pick a book up, and they get it in a book.
You go to church.
I do every day in my mind.
Okay.
I don't go to church.
But you're
I'm a
very
religious
devoted,
man. Yeah.
devoted to God. When did you find God?
I found God. I was raised in a family. We
So
all went to
you
church.
never lost God.
I never not went.
So you're doing all this bad stuff. You still believed.
I still believe, and that's when.
Is your mother passed? Yes.
Yes,
Was she a positive influence most of her life?
my mom was a negative influence, very negative. But
She's your mom.
no, not just that. My mom had to be a man and she had to be a father and a mother. So she had to, a mom's role is to teach her kid the compassion. A father's role is to give him that security and an understanding of what the discipline and lives are. Without either or, you lose that yin and yang. She had to be both. And it's hard when you got to be mean and compassionate at the same time.
Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah. So her mean and good cop, bad cop scenario came to us how the world reflected it to her. And that's how we all are. If you dating someone that just got out of a relationship with somebody that did them bad, they're going to bring those experiences over to you, and you're going to have to work with that person in order to show them that they don't have to live like that anymore. Well, my parents, my mom, the only person that I really had in my life, she wasn't negative on purpose. That was her life.
Yeah.
And it was rough.
How long you been married?
I've been married since 2011. So
12.
yep, I'm going up on the 12th year. Very blessed. That's a very blessed. You know, one thing that I can contribute to Corinne, Coffee Cup Corinne,
I love it.
love you. One thing I can contribute to her is she, when you don't have a break, you keep going through the stoplight, and there's a wreck waiting to happen. When you don't have that red light, that stop sign, that person that's in your life that's saying, nope, 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 you don't have any boundaries. She has been that.
Wow.
She has
Wow.
been the boundary. I'm
Right.
serious when I say my wife has been the boundary.
Yeah.
She ain't no joke, and she's not putting up with it. Some people have spouses that will put up with it, and it's not helping them. You know, and when you have somebody that's they love you enough to say, I'm not dealing with it. You go do that crime, or you could get out there in those streets like that. I'm out. When you come home, I won't be here. So do you want those streets, or do you want me? Do you want that life, or do you want this life?
She just wants her 8 cigarettes.
Yeah, well, she wants that, but she wants that 8 cigarettes with the insurance that it's not coming with something that's going to tear her. You know, it's her life too. Remember, I was telling you about the kid in jail, his family. She don't want to be a victim like that.
Why would anybody want to?
No,
be, right?
So she put it in me. She said, "This is what I want. This is what you should want. If you want it, we're going to have it together. If you don't, we're not going to have it together." And she supports me. And she hasn't always supported me in certain things. Like when I started my speaking career, the first thing she said is, you already got this business.
What are you doing?
You're running this business. You're going to take away from the business. And has it taken away from the business? Hell yeah. Every time you give a little bit more of yourself to something else, it's going to do it. But sometimes you got to go backwards to spring, forward even more. And I've been able to take Coffee Cup Chuck and gain an influence throughout the state of Kansas and throughout the state of Missouri that has helped in a lot of ways my business push forward. So, but when you need someone in your life and they're strong and they're every day and you continuously build.
It's all about their core values. It's all about their core values.
Yeah.
They can be like this, but if their core values aren't
aligned
with yours, it's going nowhere. It's a bad relationship. What makes it work is she's everything you want to be.
Yeah.
And that's why when she puts her foot down, you go,
yeah,
yes, ma'am.
Dude, she works at the business.
Yeah.
She's the one who makes my coffee cups. She's the one that records all my videos. Every aspect of my life. And they say that I can't work with my other half. Back in the days, there was no job for people to go to. Their family was the job. Leatherman, his family they were all Leathermen. Smithmans, they were, farmers they never got away from their wives. So that lets you know when you're centered with the right center point. Johnny Avocado and Kenya.
They're a wonderful team.
Same thing. Right. Super couples.
Different skill sets, but they balance each other fantastic.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, Johnny has a drive, and she's the organization behind the drive.
Oh, no. And, it wasn't always like it. That belief wasn't always there. I mean, can I indulge? At one point, Kenya, my sister, she didn't think she was enough for Johnny. She thought she was holding them back.
Just the opposite.
Oh my God. We know. Right. And he had to tell her. We had to bring it out.
He's such a turd. She's a superstar.
But once that happened though.
Oh, hey Johnny, I'm sorry. There you are.
Once that happened though, once the understanding of how important people are, once they realize how important they are, and it's spoken up and it's out there, boom, that person gets a sense of empowerment. And next thing you know,
and here's beautiful, because most couples are not teams. Most couples don't complement each other's and encourage each other and balance each other out. They're conflicting, and that's why most partnerships, most relationships, most marriages don't end well, because in the matters of the heart, women pick men. Men don't pick women. Women pick the men. She picked the man that filled all her voids, that her weaknesses became his strengths. And she knew that her strengths will fill him up so that he could be better as he moves forward.
Mhm.
And that's why they are a spectacular couple, because they together, synergistically, they are fantastic together.
Yin and yang.
Well, I don't know about yin and yang. I don't speak Chinese, but geez, I cracked myself up.
I've got another question, the most important
No,
one.
no,
I
Brenda
do.
said it's time.
Well, can I ask the question?
Okay.
You've been hogging the conversation. I'm just kidding. Where can people get this great merch if you do offer it?
So my agent has informed me that the only holdup was the financial. I have to link the accounts and stuff but we got the merch. You can go to www.coffeecupchuck.com. I'm looking at her when I should probably be looking at you guys.
There's only 17 people out there.
Yeah. Well, 17 people might show up and they might, but it's crazy
Don't bet on it.
No, I'm just saying I used to look at my feeds like that, and then next thing you know, you
That's
really,
all you're focusing on too.
but no, it's way more than that.
How many
You
people watch
only
your show?
see the people.
How many people watch your show?
I got a lot of followers. I got almost 6,000 followers on.
Dan, why don't you promote our show? We'd like to get up to 20.
1,000?
No, 20.
No, and I believe they'll get there. And it ain't. Sometimes it's just not us by ourselves. It's communion. You know, when you're
Right. Yeah,
like
but
this is going on my
Yeah,
Facebook.
I need you and Johnny to promote me, because Brenda certainly is not getting us up.
But
over
she
20.
is. She's promoting you by having people like us come on the show, because
Then you put this with your stuff.
you kind of mingle, and it's self-promoting at the same time, but at the same time, it's the community. You get yourself in the right community. I didn't have those 4,000 and those 6,000 followers until Brenda told me one magical thing. She told me to start doing videos, because those little short videos do what? A lot of people don't want to read my stuff.
Yeah, they'd rather a visual.
Yeah.
You're the visual learner. You get it.
And I started doing it.
You're the visual we need to cut out.
And then,
Right.
of course,
Okay.
took off. But no,
Coffee cup.
Coffee
Love you,
Cup Chuck.
brother.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you very much.
Nice to meet you too.
Last message for 17 people. Go ahead.
Strong.
That's enough.
Strong message though, for real. A lot of people, if you really want to get an understanding of how you can change, start getting into a relationship with the person you want to become. That's the starting point. If you want to be a doctor, or if you want to just be a better person in your life, start speaking with that person. I know it sounds weird at first, but we spend a lot of time. We spend more time with ourselves in our whole lifetime than we'll ever spend with anyone else. We know who we are. We know who that current person is. Why not get into a better relationship with the person that you will become? Because that person will never lie to you about what you want. So
Thank you very much.